My name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and this is Things You Might Not Have Heard. And welcome to Things You Might Not Have Heard. These are eight news stories from the past 30 hours that were vetted by you and curated by me to basically make them to eight to give you some of the best stories, most conversational stories out there, per view. As the teaser graphic has, we're going to talk some Aretha Franklin, but you got to wait a little bit. I'm really going to tease you to get to that one. Let me know what you think about the new teaser graphics. We're going to play around with a couple things for the next couple days, and let me know what you think about what we do all the time here at The Conversation. Find out more about The Conversation Project and all the things that we do, just in case you don't know, at This Is a Conversation Project.com. Moving on, moving fast, moving quick. Let's get to the stories today. As we said, 8 stories vetted by you, created by me. I already clicked a little ahead at myself. So there's a headline for story number 1. Scooby Doo spinoff Velma becomes worst rated animated show in IMDb history. So Velma, let's go back to the beginnings, the basics. Velma stars Mindy Kaling, Glenn Howerton, Sam Richardson, and Constance Wu, and is an adult comedy that is about a girl with psychic abilities who navigates the politics of high school and her own attractions to each other. Yeah, that's the synopsis. Guess what? People hate it. It is a version. It is a weird sort of amalgam. It's a spinoff of Scooby Doo with a whole new focus, whole new view that a lot of people hate. Rotten Tomatoes hates it. Metacritic hates it. IMDb hates it. The people hate it. The Asians hate it. And even though Millie Collins is supposed to be bringing more Asian love to the world with her and Candace Wu starring in it, Constance Wu, starring in it, they hate it as well. Diversity is one thing, just making fun of stuff for no reason. And of course, making the characters all sort of mean and just crass is really, really bad. It's at this point just piling on to the show for Velma, but because of things like that, they'll probably get a second season because piling on. Let's move on to more piling on. Let's go to Kari Lake. Kari Lake lost because Maricopa County voters cast ballots for other Republicans, but not her. So the truth behind the matter is that there is no voter fraud. There's no issues with voting in Arizona, and no issues for Kari Lake and her very, 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 very loud and painful campaign in Arizona. The problem is people wrote in other voters. People voted for other people. People did not vote for the Democrat. They voted for Republicans that weren't going to win because they weren't the major person. So most of the ballots that were cast, a large amount of ballots cast towards Republicans, were, essentially thrown away. Now, we say that in the manner of politics that a vote that's not for a main candidate is a throwaway vote. It's to be more exact, it's more of a protest vote. It's more of a vote against the establishment. But it does is people who vote for the establishment have a better chance of winning. So when you split a ticket, the whole Ross Perot things. Ross Perot split the ticket for the Republicans, even though he was an independent, but people wanted him to do that, and that allowed the Democrats to win in that election because he split that ticket for people who would have went Republican, decided they like this other guy a little bit better, and because of that, everybody that voted for the Democrat wins the race. Those things happen. Kari Lake did not lose because it was rigged. She lost because people literally did not vote for her, as all rational people already knew. There I said it. The story, the next. Jerry Jones wasted no time in making a decision on Mike McCarthy. That decision was he gets to stay as coach of the Cowboys. Now, the deeper story with this one is the fact that a lot of people, Cowboys bandwagon type folks, and actually some sports writers and casters that I know personally here in Arkansas, because Arkansas is Cowboy country for some weird reason, are done. They're done with Michael McCarthy, and they're really done with Dak and Zeke. They're done with the establishment that's been there for quite a long time since both Dak and Zeke were drafted for the Cowboys, and they've essentially changed out the coach but kept the real staff. Essentially, the Cowboy fans are tired of the establishment. They're not going far enough and thinks it's time for a change. In fact, some people are saying that Dak Prescott might do very well up in Seattle, seeing how that thing works up there, because since they have a fairly good system, just not a consistent quarterback, although Geno Smith did what he could for it this year at the helm there. Let's move on to the next story. Headline reads like this. Richard Barnett, man who rested feet on desk in Pelosi's office on Jan 6, found guilty on 8 counts. Speaking of dudes I know from Arkansas, This dude's from Northwest Arkansas, and he got really famous really quick for going around in the Capitol building on January 6th and being photographed hanging out in Nancy Pelosi's desk. I think he took her laptop, put his feet on the desk, and made a call. Said, "Nancy, I'm coming for you." He represented himself in court, which is always dumb. And he got found guilty on all 8 counts that he was charged on. Going to spend a lot of time in jail for just being a douche. That happens. Next story. Half Moon Bay shooting. Authorities say 4 dead, 3 critically injured in Mountain Mushroom Farm. So, I got to take a moment to compose myself. This is a shooting essentially in the same area that for the shootings from the weekend, targeting Asian Americans, Asian American community. It's really weird how this is happening. So 3 days later, or 2 days later, we're dealing with another shooting in the same general area, and now more people are dead from this. The sheriff office said that the person dealing with this acted alone, no further threat to the community. He is in his late 60s, I believe. The shooter from earlier was in his late 70s, Asian person as well. And so no motive has been given for this one, just like the other shootings. Right now, I'm trying to find more details on the other shooting, figure out what the deal was. But right now, we're having a massive of shootings that don't make very much sense. You can't track anything back to anything because there's not going on. What we're hearing from people who are living through this right now is there's a lot of real craziness and fear going on through Asian communities. First, there was a lot of just pandemic fear when calling it a China virus. And then there's just general Asian Pacific Islander hate crimes in general. Now that we've gone through all of that, these things are happening in their communities, and they're being targeted by people from their communities. It's hard to swallow. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to process. We will do our best to process it along with you out there. But no, we're not quite done. Shooting kills 2 students at Des Moines Youth Nonprofit. 2 students were killed at Stars Hot right here, an educational mentorship program in downtown Des Moines that helps at-risk youth. The founder and CEO was also seriously injured and remains hospitalized. Police charged Preston Walls with 2 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and criminal gang participation after Walls allegedly shot 2 teenagers at Stars right here. Now, the 2 teenagers he shot were rival gang members also in the program. Now, some other things that went along with this, there was a car chase. He cut his ankle bracelet about 15 minutes before the shooting started. That was to get away. It was just a tragedy of all senses. We have ideas on motives on this one. We will see how this one plays out and whether the life for this young man is really, truly over at this point. We all like to believe in second chances, third chances, fourth chances, and refrains. We'll see if this will turn into something better going forward. So this next story, when it first came out, a lot of people thought it was just sort of a joke. A lot of people thought it was just a trolling. They thought it was just them having fun. But here's the headline: M&M's pausing using Spokescandies, replacing with Maya Rudolph. Now, M&M's released some social media posts on Twitter and across the world on social media with a write-up saying that the Spokescandies are taking a break. It's like they're saying, yeah, we tried to change them up a little bit. We added some folks. We want to be more inclusive. We didn't realize that it'd be so political. We didn't realize that the shoes worn by anamorphic candy characters who are just comic characters would be such a big issue. Because we're having this issue because, let me say it clearly, Tucker Carlson has an issue with the lady M&M's not wearing go-go boots anymore and going to sneakers because she ain't so sexy. The cartoon candy. Now, Maya Rudolph is set to star in a commercial in the Super Bowl for M&M. So this was already happening. So what they're doing is they're essentially killing they're basically going to do this anyway. They're basically killing the commercials that show the candies and killing some of the promotions that show the candies promoting themselves. And they're going to go with Maya Rudolph for a while. We'll see how long a while is, and we'll see if this is mostly basically set up anyway. But Maya Rudolph, who everybody loves, as they say. There really is no distinguishing on any hate towards Maya Rudolph, and there should be love towards the M&Ms. We will see this commercial in a few weeks at the Super Bowl. We will see less of the Spokescandies out there, and we will see all of them in their glory wearing sneakers to be inclusive when they're back. I don't think this is bringing the go-go boots back, but who knows? Maybe Tucker gets his way. And finally, the story which you've all been waiting for. Why are we talking about Miss Franklin? Aretha Franklin's song, Natural Woman, blasted by transgender activists. Another story that I thought this had to be a joke as well, but it is unfortunately not. It is real. It's not all that spectacular. It is just a little bit freaky. Well, let's go with freaky. Freaky is a word that goes very well. I'm going to read you a little bit from the article that we got from the New York Post. It's worth that. No robot editor for this one. Let's go with this one. They're saying a little prayer. One alleged activist group in Norway is calling for Aretha Franklin's hit 1968 song, "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman," to be removed from both Apple Music and Spotify after they deemed its lyrics offensive. The Transcultural Mindfulness Alliance took to Twitter last week to condemn the ballad, citing that it has ignited harm against transgender women. Aretha Franklin's 1968 song, Natural Woman, perpetuates multiple harmful anti-trans stereotypes. That's a quote. The organization tweeted. They continue with, "There is no such thing as a natural woman." There you go. Fighting words right there. The message continues. The song has helped inspire acts of harm against transgender women. TCMA is requesting it's removed from Spotify and Apple Music. However, the group has since claimed that the original post was indeed a satirical on its message to the post on Monday afternoon. Group also updated their Twitter bio to say now parody satire. It's a joke. It's a really, really dumb joke, but it's a joke. It's a joke. Let's move on to the tease for tomorrow/today. We may talk about this story if you tell me the story is worthy of being talked about. And how do you do that? You follow us on our feeds. We'll explain that in just a second. But first, we're going to get in the story and we'll show you what you can basically be voting on. And it is this one right here. Let's go to that button. Huzzah. Somehow we will get there today. So protesting students call for Bethune-Cookman to resume negotiation with Ed Reed. Ed Reed's been a pretty big story here because I'm a lover of football and college football. I work for HBCU. We don't have football, but I've followed college football since youngin because I'm from the South. Bethune-Cookman had a chance to get Ed Reed, a Hall of Fame coach, to bring things up there. He showed up, blasted the school, had some beef that he shouldn't have. He apologized, and then the negotiation broke down because he was working without a contract. The students want him there because they say he speak truth. He speak the word. He speak things that make sense, and Bethune-Cookman needs to step up their game. Are we talking about this one, and does it happen? We will see tomorrow if you vote this one up in the feed. Simply go to This Is a Conversation Project and find links to the feeds, or go straight to them on Twitter. Facebook, on Twitter, it's twitter.com/th_conversation. On Facebook, it is facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project. Engage in the stories we post every 50 minutes. Like them, love them, hate them, share them. The more you engage, the higher score they get. Tuesday through Friday, we'll give you 8 stories from the top 15 over the past course of the day. And we'll do that, like I said, for the rest of the week. Now we talked about stories and getting stories in. Let's talk about sponsors and getting sponsors in. Go to Grammarly and help yourself, our main sponsor today, and get yourself some knowledge on how to fix all those bad things with your words. Hopefully you can hear that. So Grammarly is a program that's not quite AI. So it's not chat GPT. It's not along those lines. It is an old-fashioned, if you will, web-based spell checker that essentially is now the godfather, the granddaddy of all spell checkers out there. Grammarly is what you need to use for checking your words just in emails, checking your recitations, citations for your actual prop papers due, and just writing good words. Use Grammarly to work through things in all my blog posts and all my scripts and things as I go through there. Check them out, and I've been using it for quite some time. Grammarly is, as I say, a old school version, hyped up, super duper version of a spell checker. So you're not getting rewrites that are total rewrites what you're doing, but it will tell you when your tenses aren't right and how to rewrite some sentences to sound and look better. You will be impressed by the work that Grammarly does, and you will fall in love with it like I did so long ago. Go to this. It's a conversationproject.com/Grammarly. This it's a conversationproject.com/Grammarly, and you too can speak better words, or at least write better words to speak better, hopefully, with the Grammarly program. Now, let's go ahead and go back and talking to me for a bit and the Conversation Project. Very quickly, we're going to talk about the Conversation Project. The Conversation Project is a website. Obviously, this is the Conversation Project. Is the home for the Conversation Project, and this is what we have to go for. Things to bring people from around the world to have the best conversations on the best stories, the best things going on, current events, information, things that are important, and pranks like Natural Woman needs to be banned because it causes people to fight transgender people. Very non-funny jokes. A lot of non-funny things happening in today's program, but did you know about it? Probably not until we did it. That's why I call this things you might not have heard. Things you might have heard or might not have heard, because maybe you did, maybe you didn't. It gets a little weird. So, but we have other things at our program, at our home, at our projects, including things that are more scientific based, basically what it is you guys actually voted for, not what I want to put in there, and some commentary on things like that. If you enjoy the commentary, enjoy the nonsense we give here, we also ask you to check out the sponsors page and the partnerships page to help us, help you, help us, help you. Keep helping. Keep on helping, keep on dreaming, keep on loving, keep on doing the news. We do this every single weekday morning, Monday through Friday, assuming there's no issues with internet or no illness going forward. And it is, as we say, a labor of love, but some days it's more labor than labor. The folks behind us, enjoy getting this done. It's a blast to do. But we also can need some help and need some support, and just need some followers. So if you want to get this in other forms, there are links to how you get them easier. If you want to reply back to us, go to the website as well, or reply back inside of the video or the podcast or whatever form you're getting this as well. But this is who we are. This is a conversationproject.com. Proud to be a part of all that stuff. Now, let's wrap things up with the fun stuff for the day. And this is the today things, starting off with birthdays for January 24th. Celebrating all day long, all night long. Put on your heart lines, sing Sweet Caroline, put on your white suit, and just be happy. Neil Diamond turning 82 years old today. America's sweetheart from back in the 80s. And I guess she can still be America's sweetheart now, although Simone Biles may have something to say about that. Mary Lou Retton, 55 years old today. And Mishka Barton, 37, who we celebrate every single year on her birthday because she was on the OC. Pretty much done nothing of note since then. Everything she's done, I can tell you from my standpoint, has just been bad. Bad acting, bad movies, some bad life choices. Mishka Barton, 37. Of course, the only thing of note, the only reason why I actually care, send your hate my way if you want to, the OC. We also celebrate Peanut Butter Day. Today is Peanut Butter Day. What? Peanut Butter Day. What? Peanut Butter Day. What are we doing today? We're celebrating peanut butter. We're probably eating peanut butter. We're probably, tossing globs of peanut butter at people, putting peanut butter in dogs' mouths so they can act like they're talking. It's got peanut butter extravaganza. Get out there and get your peanut butter. In this household, there's been some debate lately over the crunchy versus the smooth. My wife is trying to convert everyone over to crunchy. I'm just wanting my smooth and want to be left alone. It is what it is. That's what we do. We're kind of boring, but hey, we make it work. And finally, one more thing you might not have heard for today. 39 million Americans rent DVDs from Rentbox, which was a surprise in its own, and persons with disabilities want them to stop using the disabled parking spaces. The temptation is there. You're just going to pull up for 4 or 5 minutes to pick up a movie from the Redbox kiosk, and the disabled parking spot is right there. It won't be so much. It would be so much easier to pull into that spot and find one, than find one elsewhere and trek back. But it's illegal and rude, and you shouldn't do it. Besides, you never know who's watching. A TV station in Ohio decided it would turn Redbox handicap parkers into a story and busted customers using the spot in front of a CVS. The red boxes are still out there. The red boxes are in Walmart's. There's CVS's. I see when we have one at our Kroger. So red boxes are there. I see no one ever at them because pretty much everybody I know is streaming things right now, pulling things on their phones and or bootlegging things from VPNs and things like that. I don't know anyone who owns a DVD player off the top of my head. We literally threw the last one out of the house when we moved to the new house because it's like, we don't need this thing. What are we going to do this for? We've since purchased one because there's a baby in the house, not ours. And there's some things on the DVD player the baby likes to watch. But other than that, and because he's a baby, he doesn't really, give us much of a choice. He's not all that, amenable to technology, being that he's a baby. Other than that, I don't know who's going to do the red box, who's watching DVDs. Everything's basically streaming, and it's kind of what it is, especially when it's locked down on these systems exclusive to whoever or whatnot and so forth. We're done. That was abrupt. We're done. Tuesday, January 24th, 2023 edition of Things You Might Have Heard. We're going to make sure that you are staying hydrated. There's the mug. Staying limber and staying on task for all the grand, sometimes emotional, sometimes hard, sometimes not so hard things you're here to do in the year, in the week, in your life going forward. Now, let us know what you think about some of the changes that we're doing this week, playing around with some things. Let me know how you like the teaser graphic, because I had, I don't know, it's some sort of inspiration to do something different, and we're going to see how well that will work out. See if that's going to bring some eyeballs, a better thumbnail, if you will, to bring folks in there. Let us know about the stories that we're posting. If you like the ones we did, if you don't like the ones we did, or you voted one up that you think should have made it in there, let me know, and we'll take a look at it and see what we do about fixing that. In the meantime, just let me know you care, because that's what it's really all about. I care about all you guys. I'll talk about with the, the stay hydrated thing, but let me know how much you care, and we'll keep doing this as much as you want it as well. See you next day, tomorrow. Not quite next week. See you tomorrow as we get prepared for another day of Things You Might Not Have Heard.